Winter did not arrive in a single day. It came one snowflake at a time. The land that once fed them had vanished beneath the ice. Even the animals had fled before the endless cold. The fire still burned, but winter was becoming stronger every day. If the fire died, the tribe would die with it. They no longer guarded food. They guarded the flame. The storm wasn't their enemy. The cold entering the cave was. For the first time, humans began changing their environment instead of simply enduring it. Clothing became more than protection. It became survival, carried on the body. The cold had not become weaker. Humanity had become wiser. The greatest danger was no longer the storm. It was running out of time. Without wood, even the strongest fire would surrender to winter. Nature always hid one more chance for those willing to keep searching. No one carried the burden alone. Saving food became as important as finding it. The frozen earth would become humanity's first natural storage room. Winter itself became their guardian. The child no longer feared the cold because the tribe had learned to prepare. For the first time in his long life, survival looked organized. They had prepared for winter, but winter was about to become something far worse. The storm was coming faster than anyone expected. Preparation was now the tribe's greatest weapon. No wall was stronger than the people who built it together. The weakest were protected first because they were part of the tribe. The wind tried to tear everything apart. For the first time, humans built a home against the cold. Outside, winter raged. Inside, hope still burned. Even the storm could not silence the stories. The cave was no longer just shelter. It had become a community. The first villages were not built with stone. They were built with people who refused to face winter alone. The storm had trapped them, but it had also brought them closer together. One person stayed awake, so everyone else could dream. The cold was not hunting them alone. The wolves had come searching for food, but they found fire instead. Predators respected what they could not control. The wolves saw many humans, but they moved like one. The fire had become more than warmth. It had become protection. One flame had become many, and together they guarded the tribe. For the child, pruding me, the darkness no longer seemed endless. They had survived another night because they had learned to protect one another. The storm had passed, but the Ice Age had not. Even the rivers had forgotten how to flow. Sometimes survival meant breaking what nature had sealed. Even frozen rivers still carried life. Life always found a way, even beneath the deepest snow. Knowledge became as valuable as food. When the land disappeared beneath snow, they learned to never walk alone. Not every giant had disappeared with the mammoths. Wisdom is knowing which battles should never be fought. The strongest leader wasn't the one who won every fight, but the one who brought everyone home alive. Sometimes survival meant choosing tomorrow over today's victory. The fire belonged to everyone, so everyone protected it. Every winter created stronger hunters, because every lesson was shared. Comfort was no longer a luxury. It had become another way to survive. Even when the land was frozen, the stars still showed the way. Even during humanity's darkest winter, the sky never stopped creating beauty. Hope sometimes arrived, without making a sound. Not every discovery came from the earth. Some came from looking at the sky. The first sign of spring was not warmth. It was a single drop of water. Winter had not been defeated. It had simply come to an end. Life had waited beneath the snow, all along. The valley had found its voice again. When the animals returned, hope returned with them. Planning for tomorrow had saved them yesterday. Some winters freeze the body, others strengthen the spirit. Survival had become a way of living, not just a struggle. The greatest storms deserve to be remembered. We survived because we stood together. The world had changed, and so had humanity. Without knowing it, humanity was about to discover the greatest invention in history. A single seed looked insignificant, but it carried the future of humanity. Nature had quietly revealed one of its greatest secrets. Food might not always need to be chased. Every generation discovers something the last one never imagined. The Ice Age had changed the world, but it had changed humanity even more. The greatest victory was not surviving the winter. It was surviving together. Stories kept memories alive, and memories kept people alive. Winter had ended. The next chapter was waiting. The answer to hunger had been growing quietly, all around them. Soon humans would stop following food. They would learn to grow it. The future of humanity could fit inside a single hand. Without realizing it, Khai planted more than seeds. Every generation walks farther because someone before them kept moving. They were no longer running from winter. They were walking toward tomorrow. The land no longer looked like an enemy. It looked like home. The wall remembered, so the people never had to forget. The story now belonged to the next generation. Humanity had survived the longest winter in its history. The next revolution would not be won with spears, but with seeds. We survived the Ice Age. Now we were ready to change the world. To be continued in Episode 5, The First Seeds for the Birth of Agriculture.